Have you ever noticed that coffee can make you feel awake and still make you feel awful at the same time? Like you get energy, but you also get that shaky, wired feeling, or your stomach feels sour, or you crash hard by mid-morning and wonder, what is wrong with me? Here's the bold thing I'm going to say right up front, and some people won't like it. Most people don't have a coffee problem. They have a how they drink coffee problem. Because the same drink that can be part of a healthy routine can also be the reason you feel jittery, bloated, or tired at the worst time of day. And today we're talking about one tiny change that sounds almost silly. Putting one clove in your coffee. Not 5, not a teaspoon, not some expensive powder. Just one clove. The kind that may already be in your kitchen. Now listen, I am not saying this is magic. I am not saying it cures anything. But I am saying this. When you do it the right way, many people say their coffee feels different, smoother, calmer, easier on the stomach. And most videos won't explain this in a calm, senior-safe way. They go straight to hype. We're not doing that here. In this video, I'll show you the simple method, the number one mistake that makes it useless, and who should be careful, especially if you take certain medications or deal with reflux. And here's your reward for staying to the end. I'm going to give you a simple, no-stress 7-day test plan you can follow like a checklist. So you're not guessing. You'll know if it helps your body. All right, let me quickly introduce myself so you know who you're listening to. My name is Dr. Michael Carter, Senior Health Advisor. My mission is to help people over 50 live healthier, longer, and happier lives through natural nutrition, evidence-based wellness, and practical daily habits. Because whenever possible, I want you to improve your daily routine first, so you can avoid unnecessary medications. Now, before we go any further, I want to set the rules for this video so you can trust what you're hearing. First rule, this is not a cure. It will not replace your doctor. And it is not a reason to stop any medication on your own. We're talking about one question today. Can your morning coffee feel better in your body? Second rule, natural does not always mean safe for everyone. If you take certain medications, especially blood thinners, or if you deal with strong heartburn or ulcers, you need to be careful. I'll give you a clear, who should skip this list later in plain language. Quick check. Be honest with me. Do you drink coffee for comfort, or do you drink it like a tool just to feel normal? Because if coffee feels like a tool you can't live without, that's a sign your mornings may need a gentler plan. Here's exactly what we're going to do today. I'm going to show you what some people notice in the first 15 minutes, the simplest way to try the one clove method, the biggest mistakes that make people say, this didn't work, and then that 7-day checklist. And one more thing. If you only hear the title and think, this sounds like internet hype, I understand. But stay with me because the truth is not hype. The truth is this. Small changes to a daily habit can sometimes make a bigger difference than people expect. Alright, so what is a clove really? Clove is that small, dark, dried spice that looks like a tiny nail. Most people only think about it around the holidays, or they remember the smell from a dentist office. And yes, that part is real. Clove has a strong, sharp scent. But clove isn't just flavor. It has natural plant oils inside it. One of the main ones is called eugenol. You don't need to memorize that word. I'm only telling you so you know this isn't made up. In plain language, clove has a long history as a calming spice for the body. Not like a drug, not like a cure. More like it can take the edge off irritation for some people. And here's a really important point that most people miss. We are talking about one whole clove, not clove oil. Clove oil is super strong and concentrated. That is a different thing. And it is not what I want you experimenting with in your coffee. Now, why combine clove with coffee at all? Because coffee is not just caffeine. Coffee also has natural plant compounds in it. Some people call them antioxidants. I just call them plant helpers. They can affect how coffee feels in the body. So when you combine coffee with a small amount of clove, some people feel the coffee hits a little differently. Quick check. When you drink coffee, do you feel more clear or more amped up? Because if you're in that amped up group, this next part is where it gets interesting. Now let's talk about what some people notice in the first 15 minutes. Not everyone, not every day, but often enough that it's worth a simple test. Here's the goal. We want the good part of coffee, the alertness, the focus, the let's start the day. But we want less of the bad part, the edgy feeling, the stomach flip, the tight chest, the shaky hands, the crash. Some people say when they add one clove the right way, the coffee feels a bit smoother. It can feel more like I'm awake and less like I'm buzzing. And here's the simple idea. Coffee wakes up your nervous system. That's part of why you love it. Clove, for some people, can feel like it takes the sharp corners off. It doesn't knock you out. It doesn't sedate you. It just makes the experience feel calmer. Again, I'm not promising this will happen for you. I'm telling you what many people report. Quick check. If you've ever said, I love coffee but it doesn't love me back, you're in the right place. Now here's the part that matters. If you try this and you feel nothing in the first 15 minutes, don't panic. Some people notice changes in the stomach first, not the brain. Some people notice changes after a few days, not day one. That's why we're going to use a 7-day plan at the end. So you don't judge it on one morning when you slept badly or ate something heavy. Now let's talk about the stomach side. Because for a lot of people over 50, coffee isn't a brain issue, it's a belly issue. If coffee makes you feel bloated, gassy, or just off, you're not alone. And I want to say this in a kind way. Nothing is wrong with you for that. As we get older, our stomach can become more sensitive. Stress adds to it. Certain foods add to it. And coffee can add to it. Clove has a long history as a stomach spice. People have used it for gas and digestion for a long time. So some people notice that adding a small amount of clove makes coffee feel less harsh on the stomach. It can feel like less churning. Less, why is my belly doing that? Quick check. Do you feel better after coffee, or do you feel like your stomach starts an argument with you? Now, I need to be very clear here. If you have strong reflux, ulcers, or stomach pain, coffee itself may be part of the problem. Clove is not a magic shield. In fact, for some people, spices can also irritate the stomach if you overdo it. So we will keep this gentle. 1 clove, not a lot. Now, before I give you the method, I want to tell you something important that I'm not going to fully teach in this video, because it deserves its own video. And it might be the real reason some people feel terrible after coffee. It's the question of timing. Not just what you drink, but when. The best time to drink coffee after 50 so it doesn't quietly wreck your sleep. Because if you're waking up at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., it's not always just aging. Sometimes it's caffeine timing. Sometimes it's the size of your cup. Sometimes it's the second cup you forgot you had. I'm not going deep on that today, but I will cover it in another video. So if you want that one, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss it. Alright, now let's get practical. Here is the simple method to try 1 clove in coffee, and I'm going to give you 2 options. One is the easiest. That's the one I want most seniors to start with. The second is a stronger method for people who want to take it one step further. But we start simple, always. Option 1, the easy method. You take 1 whole clove. You crush it a little. You can do that with your fingers, or the flat side of a spoon, or the side of a knife if you're careful. You don't need to turn it into powder. You just want to crack it so the inside can mix with the coffee. Then you drop that clove into your hot coffee. Let it sit for about 3 minutes. Then you can remove it or strain it, or just leave it and avoid drinking it. That's it, 1 clove, crushed, 3 minutes. And I want you to drink it slowly the first time. Don't slam it like a race. Give your body a chance to respond. Quick check, does this sound too simple to matter? Good, that's the point. It's a tiny test. Now option 2 is for people who want a stronger method. You can make what I call clove water. You put a few cloves in hot water for a few minutes. Then you use that water to make coffee. But listen, do not start there. Start with 1 clove first. Learn how you feel. Because more is not always better, especially over 50. Now let's talk about the biggest mistakes. This is where most people mess it up and then say, this didn't work. Mistake number 1. They drop a whole clove into coffee, don't crush it, and drink right away. That often gives you the smell, but not much of the good part. Clove is hard. It needs time to mix. Crush it, steep it, 3 minutes. Mistake number 2. They go too strong too fast. They think, if 1 is good, 5 must be better. And then their stomach feels hot, or they feel weird, or they don't like the taste. So they quit and tell everyone it's nonsense. Start small, 1 clove. Let your body vote. Mistake number 3. They turn coffee into dessert. And I'm not here to judge you. I've seen the whipped cream mountains. I get it. But if your goal is steady energy and calm morning, then a huge sugar hit can work against that. So if you sweeten, keep it modest. Let coffee be coffee. Quick check. If your coffee has ever been more like a milkshake than a drink, no shame. Just know what game you're playing. Now, what about milk? You might have heard people say milk blocks all the good stuff in coffee. Here's the calm truth. Milk can bind with some plant compounds. That can matter in theory, but real life is not always that simple. If adding a little milk is the only way you can enjoy coffee and stick with the habit, that matters too. So here's my friend-to-friend advice. If you can drink it black for this 7-day test, try it. If you can't, use the smallest amount that still works for you. We are chasing a better routine, not perfection. Now we need to talk about safety, because this is the part that protects you, and it's also the part many channels skip. If you take daily medications, do not click away. This matters. Here's the short list of who should be careful, or skip this until they talk with their clinician. If you take blood thinners or medicines that affect clotting, be careful. Clove has compounds that may affect how the blood clots for some people. That does not mean one clove will cause a problem for everyone. It means you should not treat it like candy if you're on those meds. If you take warfarin, or you've had bleeding issues, or you have a procedure coming up, talk to your clinician first. Second group, if you have active ulcers, strong gastritis, or serious reflux, be careful. Coffee can irritate the stomach. Spices can irritate too if you overdo it. For some people, this won't be a good match. Third group, if caffeine makes your heart race, or you get palpitations, choose decaf or half-caf for this test. You can still test the clove piece without pushing your nervous system too hard. And last, if you try it and you feel burning, nausea, strong jitters, or your heart feels fluttery, stop. That's not failure, that's feedback. Your body is allowed to say, no thank you. Quick check, can you see how this is different from hype videos? We're doing this the safe way. Now we're ready for the best part, the 7-day test plan. This is how you stop guessing. This is how you make it simple. And this is how you know if it's worth keeping. Here's the plan. Days 1 through 3. 1 clove, crushed, steep 3 minutes, drink slowly. Keep your coffee about the same as usual. Same time, same cup size if you can, because we want a fair test. Days 4 through 7. If you felt fine, you can stay at 1 clove, or try 2. But you do not need 2 for this to work. 1 is enough for most people to test it. Now here's what you track. I want you to rate 3 things each morning. Just a quick score from 1 to 10. Number 1, jitters. 1 means calm. 10 means I'm buzzing. Number 2, stomach comfort. 1 means my belly is upset. 10 means my belly is fine. Number 3, the crash. 1 means I crashed hard by late morning. 10 means I stayed steady. Write those 3 numbers down. That's it. Quick check. If you have a sticky note, this is the moment. 3 words, jitters, belly, crash. Now, if you do this for 7 days, you'll have your answer. Not a guess, not a hope, an answer. Some people notice a difference on day 1. Some people notice it by day 3. And some people notice no difference at all. And that's okay. Because the goal is not to force your body into a trend. The goal is to find what works for you. Now let's hit a quick lightning round of the questions you're probably asking. Question 1. Can I use decaf? Yes. Decaf still has plant compounds. And it still lets you test how clove feels in your coffee without as much caffeine push. Question 2. Can I use pods or a drip machine? Yes. Use what you will actually do. The best method is the one you can repeat. Question 3. Whole clove or ground? I prefer whole clove for beginners because it's easier to control. Ground clove can be strong and gritty, and it's easier to use too much. Question 4. Can I add milk? If you can do this test black, try. If you cannot, use a small amount. Again, we're not chasing perfect, we're chasing better. Question 5. Can I sweeten? You can, but keep it modest. If your coffee is basically cake in a cup, you may not get the steady morning feeling you want. Question 6. How long should I do this? Start with 7 days. If you love it and you feel fine, you can keep it. If you don't notice anything, you can move on. No drama. Quick check. If you're still here, you're the kind of person who actually tests things instead of just hoping. I like that. Now I want to bring it home with the simple takeaway. And I want you to feel relieved after this video, not stressed. Here it is. You are not broken. If coffee makes you feel edgy or bloated, that doesn't mean you're weak. It means your body may want a gentler setup. And the small change we tested today is simple. 1 clove, crushed, steeped 3 minutes, tracked for 7 days. And remember the big line, most people don't have a coffee problem, they have a how they drink coffee problem. Now if this helped you, do me a quick favor, tap like, save this video so you remember tomorrow morning, and share it with a friend or family member over 50 who drinks coffee every day and complains about jitters or stomach issues. Also, if you want that next video about the best time to drink coffee after 50 so it doesn't mess with your sleep, subscribe and hit the bell. And before you go, comment the word coffee and tell me how you take yours. Black, milk, sweet? Because I read those comments and it helps me make videos that fit your real life. Alright friend, try the 1 clove test tomorrow morning and be kind to yourself while you do it. Small habits done daily beat big promises done once.